Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you after yet another Arsenal win. Arsenal 3-1 victors at Southampton last night, putting to bed that FA Cup defeat at St Mary's at the weekend and returning from the South Coast with 3 valuable points. The Arsenal return to form continues. 5 wins from their last 6 Premier League games now. I think it's 16 points from 18. Exactly 1 month ago yesterday, Arsenal were 15th, 4 points above the relegation zone. Now they are 8th and just 5 points off the top 4. What a remarkable turnaround it's been since that win against Chelsea on Boxing Day. Really good performance last night. First time all season they've come from behind to claim a win in the Premier League. So progress there as well. Thoroughly deserving winners, I thought. Really exciting game, very open. Arsenal possibly could have conceded more goals, but they certainly could have scored more goals as well. It was a really open game, and I thought they were absolutely the better side on the night and deserved the 3 points. Some really good performances once again. I thought Granit Xhaka ran the show in midfield. Thomas Partey was good again before he went off. Bukayo Saka, I mean, what more can you say about Bukayo? You're running out of superlatives. What a talent he is. 19 years old. And he's already this good, and he's becoming a leader in this team now, a player that Arsenal turn to, and he's only 19. And he's shouldering that responsibility. He's performing, he's contributing in terms of goals and assists on a regular basis now. He's just going to get better and better, and Arsenal are very, very lucky to have him. Cedric as well, big shout to Cedric. I thought he was very, very good. Unlucky not to score. Would have been a brilliant volley in the first half. Fantastic ball over to Saka for the third goal, for Lacazette's goal. Another positive performance from him playing on the left-hand side. Nicolas Pepe as well. He needed a big night, Pepe. There's a lot of pressure on him going into that. Got a good confidence boost by Mikel Arteta starting him, and he could have played Martinelli. Could have easily played Martinelli, but he didn't. He played Pepe, and Pepe responded with an excellent performance. Lovely goal, and a really solid showing for him. So Mikel will be absolutely delighted. And I mean, you look at Bukayo Saka now, and I mean, how many times have I sat here on these videos and talked about him, about how good he is and what he's going to bring. And it's just the head on his shoulders at such a young age. I mean, his goal was fantastic. Yes, you could say Alex McCarthy made a mistake, probably shouldn't have come off his line like he did. But the way Saka took it was just so mature. It just looked like a senior player going through there. Where he skipped round him, slotted it in with his wrong foot. Just a wonderful goal. He scored 4 in this run now since Arsenal have turned things around since Boxing Day. Played 6 games. Saka scored 4 goals and set up 2. You know, he's absolutely bossing things at the moment. And he's just such an important player. And Mikel was speaking about him afterwards. He was asked about him. He said, look, Bukayo's doing really well, and he's always asking to train more and improve more in the areas that he can do better. Finishing was certainly one. Producing the final bit in the box to score or get an assist, and he's doing that much more often now. He's able to do that with the work he has put in and the intelligence he's shown on the pitch, and with the capacity he has to understand the game from different positions. He's becoming a really complete player, and he is. And that's the most exciting thing. You think of where he is now, Saka, what he's doing now on a weekly basis, you know, compare him to the other top players in his position in the country, and you think he's only 19. He's only just come into the first team like last season on a regular basis, really, and it's really, really exciting. The fact Arsenal got him tied down to a long-term deal as well, you know, is even better, and it's just fantastic. And I love watching him play. I love listening to him as well, and the head he's got on his shoulders. And there's lots to be excited about at Arsenal at the moment in terms of the young players they've got at their disposal, but nothing more so than Bukayo Saka and what he could do over the next few years should he stay, fingers crossed, injury free. It wasn't just a Saka show. Like I said, there was lots of good performances. I want to just talk a little bit about Nicolas Pepe as well, because as I said, there was an awful lot of pressure on Pepe going into that game, and you know, him and Willian becoming a bigger problem for Arsenal in terms of their contribution, but not just their contribution, just in terms of what you do with them. Because of the form of Saka and Smith Rowe and people like that, it's a case of, you know, can you long term have these players who are worth so much money that you're paying so much money to not starting on a weekly basis in the Premier League, especially given the financial climate Arsenal are in, and it's becoming a bigger problem. So what you need from them is, when they are called upon, is that they perform and they contribute, and Nicolas Pepe certainly did that last night. I thought his goal was really good. The strength he showed to hold off his man, let the ball run across. Brilliant ball from Granit Xhaka. Let the ball run across him onto that left foot and a lovely finish. Yeah, he needed to make sure he scored once he took that shot on, because he had about 3 players with an absolute tap-in if he'd have just squared it across to them. I think Smith Rowe, Saka and Lacazette were all in there. But he took the shot on and he found the corner. And, it was a really important goal in terms of the game for Arsenal. That not long after Southampton had scored, it got them back on level terms straight away. And it was a big moment for Arsenal. It was a big moment for Pepe, and his whole performance I thought was really, really solid. He worked really hard. You look at some of his stats after the game in terms of like ball recoveries and duels. He was right up there at the very top. It wasn't just about attacking; it was all areas of the pitch that I thought Pepe performed really, really well in, and that was a big bonus for Mikel, and it was a really good response. It was the exact response you wanted from a player like Pepe, given the pressure and the scrutiny that he's been under. And Mikel, speaking about him afterwards, said. He was asked, you played him on the left because obviously with Aubameyang out, you thought he's either going to play Martinelli on the left or he's going to move Saka over to the left and bring in Pepe or Willian on the right. But he didn't. He stuck with Saka on the right and he brought Pepe in but played over on the left. And Mikel was asked after the game, what was the reasoning for that? And he said it was more because of what we wanted to do in attack and the spaces we wanted to exploit. We believed that he could exploit some spaces there and that he could be really efficient in doing that. I thought that the other day he had a good game and he was involved in our best attacking moments, and the way he's been training, he deserved his chance. Today he did the job really well. So a really nice sort of pat on the back for Pepe there, a real confidence booster for him as well. And if Arsenal are going to be out without Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and we'll get to him a little bit later on in this video, if they are going to be without Aubameyang for a while now, hopefully they're not, but if they are, then Pepe's given himself a real opportunity of getting a more regular starting spot in terms of the Premier League, even with the imminent arrival of Martin Odegaard, which again we'll get to later on in this video. So in terms of Aubameyang, I can't really offer too much of an update on him and what's going on, and we know it's a really delicate situation. It's a family issue that's ongoing, and you could see by the players' reactions when they scored their goals last night. Bukayo Saka cupping his hands in the shape of a heart, Lacazette holding up one finger and 4 fingers to make up the number 14, Aubameyang's shirt number, of course. They're really thinking of him, and I asked Mikel after the game just about that, about the players doing that, and about Aubameyang if there was any update. He said that there isn't any update, and to be honest, I'm not surprised. When it's a family issue like this, he deserves as much privacy as anyone else. Who are we to really need to know what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to Aubameyang's family? So that's totally understandable. But he said, I love how they support each other and how they protect each other. Auba is having a difficult time. We are behind him, and this win is for him. So lovely words from Mikel. And I noticed Aubameyang, you replied to one of, I think it was Lacazette's Instagram post where he posted a picture of himself, saying for Auba and the number 14, and Aubameyang replied to that, sort of thanking him, and that was nice. I think it was the first time I've seen Aubameyang even on social media since what's happened, whatever has happened, and so it's good to see him back there, and clearly it meant a lot to him seeing what his teammates did. So as I said in the last video, all we can do is sit here with our fingers crossed that everything is okay with Aubameyang behind the scenes with his family, and that everyone can stay safe and well and be safe and well, and hopefully soon we'll see Aubameyang back smiling and back on the training pitch and back in the Arsenal first team, because Arsenal need him. But at times, football is there's things that are bigger than football, and family is certainly one of them. In terms of Martin Odegaard, the wait for a confirmation goes on. It surely must be today. It's what time I'm recording this? It's probably about 9:30 at the moment on Wednesday morning. It's a completely free day for Arsenal. Obviously, yesterday they had the match to gear up to in terms of social media and everything like that. Tomorrow they got Mikel Arteta's press conference in the morning ahead of the Man United game. Today there was a completely free day, and you kind of feel like this is a day for an announcement. Odegaard's been here since Sunday night. He's been at London Colney. It's just a case of waiting for an announcement. Mikel was keeping things close to his chest yesterday, but he basically announced it himself, because when Mikel actually talks about a player who isn't technically an Arsenal player, something is very much happening. And we asked him, how close is it? And he said, I think we are pretty close, but it's not finalised, as I understand. I haven't talked to Edu or the club in the last few hours, but we are very positive that we can finalise the deal. Now, when Mikel says something like that, trust me, it's happening. It's just a case of waiting for the confirmation to come through. And it kind of feels like today is going to it has to be the day, really. I can't imagine they're going to wait until the day of Mikel Arteta's press conference when all the attention will start switching to that massive game against Manchester United at the weekend. It just feels like Wednesday is the day. So by the time you're watching this, it probably has been announced. If not, then fingers crossed at some point it does on Wednesday, because I know an awful lot of you want to find out that Martin Odegaard is officially an Arsenal player. Trust me, it's going to happen, but I know I can understand you want confirmation, you want to see the pictures, you want to see the interview, and I'm sure it will be happening very, very soon. Quite a bit of injury concern going into the Man United game at the weekend. Not the best for Arsenal. Yesterday, Thomas Partey limping off, Emile Rowe limping off, Kieran Tierney not even being involved, obviously, with the Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang situation as well. We asked Mikel after the game, and you could tell that Mikel was pretty annoyed by some of the criticism he got for the FA Cup defeat, for his team selection in the FA Cup defeat. There was certainly lots of it on social media, but there was also a lot in the press. I think I saw Chris Sutton in his newspaper column saying that Arteta treated it like the Mickey Mouse Cup, which I thought was very harsh considering Mikel Arteta won it just a few months ago and he took it very, very seriously then. And you could tell that was annoying, because not even asking directly about that criticism, Mikel clearly wanted to make it known that he'd seen it, and that he said it was my question. I asked him just about Thomas Partey and Kieran Tierney, could they play against United, and he just went into one. He said, look, from Saturday, just to make it clear, we had 5 players who were not available to play. We made 7 changes and 5 of them were because they were not ready to play the game. Kieran was one of them, Thomas was another, and you could see today that he could not last 60 minutes, so you have to manage those players to protect them. Sometimes they are not fit, but I cannot explain every single day how every player is feeling. So Mikel clearly a little bit annoyed at some of the criticism that's come his way, and to be fair, I absolutely understand that, because I thought it was a little bit harsh as well. It wasn't like he threw in the kids against Southampton. There are a lot of experienced international players. It was still a very, very strong team. It's just one that on the day ultimately didn't perform enough to get the result. But certainly people saying he disrespected the cup and he treated it like a Mickey Mouse Cup, I thought was way, way over the top. I'm not surprised he was a little bit annoyed about that. In terms of the injury problems last night, Thomas Partey went off sort of about 60 minutes in with he was limping off. It kind of looked like cramp, and I asked Mikel, was it cramp? He said we don't know. He was feeling some discomfort and hopefully it's nothing, but he was struggling. Now, I've been speaking to a couple of people who are close to Thomas Partey this morning, and they are hopeful it's nothing too serious. He will be assessed today, but as of sort of last night after the game, Thomas was certainly hoping it wasn't anything too problematic, and his eyes were still firmly set on playing against Manchester United at the weekend. So fingers crossed, whatever Arsenal do with him today, whatever tests he goes through, that he comes through unscathed, and it was nothing more than just a little bit of cramp last night and he is fully fit, because my word, Arsenal are going to need him on Saturday. What a player he's been, what a difference he's made in the last few weeks. Him and Granit Xhaka are absolutely forming a fantastic partnership in central midfield, and against a team like Manchester United, who you want to break the play up, you want to win the ball back quickly and not allow them to break and hit you on that counter-attack with those pacey players. You really need someone like Thomas Partey in midfield. So fingers crossed everything is all right with Thomas Partey. We'll find out soon enough. On Kieran Tierney, Mikel said, I don't know if he'll be fit for United. He wasn't available in the FA Cup. He was injured. He's still injured tonight. Let's see how he progresses for the game against United. And for Rowe, who also went off, he said he was injured for the game in the FA Cup, so he wasn't available. We knew that he probably could not play the whole game today. He had some muscular discomfort, so he had to come off again. So they're clearly sort of managing Rowe at the moment. He's playing an awful lot of football. That is why Odegaard is coming in as well, to help share the burden in that number 10 role. You've got to remember Rowe, he's had his injury problems in the past. He's suddenly been thrust into the hustle and bustle of the Premier League week in, week out, and he's still only 20 years old. So he needs support. He can't play every single week, so they're sort of managing him at the moment. He played well again last night, even though he didn't really impact it in terms of assists or anything like that. I still thought he put in a really good shift last night. Fingers crossed he'll be all right for the weekend, because he has made a massive difference to this Arsenal team as well. Right, I will run through my player ratings. Apologies I didn't get to do them last night. It was just too busy after the match, and Mikel didn't have too many TV interviews to do, so he was up to the press conference fairly quickly, so I ran out of time. So I'll run through, and it's going to be a nice player ratings, because we're going to have plenty of high scores, and we all love that. Bernd Leno, just want to quickly mention Bernd Leno, who I think has been absolutely great recently. Yes, he had a bit of a shaky start to the season. I think everyone was focusing on Martinez again, obviously, and how well he'd done and how well he was settling in at Villa. Leno hadn't played much football because of the injury, made a couple of errors, and there was a lot of every match basically it was like, oh, we've sold the wrong goalkeeper. But Leno recently has been very, very good. He's banging form at the moment. I thought he was really good again last night, made some really important saves at key times, and he's just looking like the goalkeeper that we all knew he was and that we've seen since he basically arrived at Arsenal. So Bernd Leno for me gets a 7. Cedric Soares I'm going to give an 8. I thought he played really, really well. So unlucky not to score that volley in the first half. What a goal that would have been. Brilliant ball in the build-up to the third goal. So Cedric gets an 8. David Luiz, a little bit rusty. I'm not surprised. Well, not rusty, but just a little bit off the pace at times. Made some big errors, sort of sloppy errors that fortunately weren't punished, but they could have been. So he got away with a couple. I'm going to give David Luiz a 5. I'm not surprised he started last night, though, because I thought Gabriel was really poor at the FA Cup at the weekend and looked really rusty. But yeah, I didn't think David Luiz had the greatest of games last night. Certainly got away with a couple of big errors that could have led to Southampton goals. So he gets a 5. Rob Holding played really well. 100th appearance for Arsenal. Rob Holding gets a 7. Hector Bellerin gets a 7 as well. Struggled at times, especially in the first half. Got beaten a few times down the right, but I thought he stuck to his task pretty well. I thought he was pretty solid in the second half. Got up in supported attack at times, so I'm going to give Hector a 7. Granit Xhaka, excellent performance from Xhaka yet again. Really banging form at the moment. Set up the first goal for Nicolas Pepe. Unlucky not to get an assist. Should have got an assist for Alexander Lacazette inside a minute when Laka missed that one-on-one. Another great Xhaka pass. So Xhaka gets an 8 for me. Thomas Partey gets a 7. Not quite on the level of Xhaka, I didn't think, but still another really good game from Partey, who's just proven worth every single penny that Arsenal invested in him. Bukayo Saka, man of the match for me. Brilliant performance from Saka. Goal and assist and just brilliant all night. 9 for me for Bukayo Saka. Smith Rowe gets a 7. Worked tirelessly. Always involved, always wanting the ball, played on the half turn, passing was excellent. He gets a 7 for me. Nicolas Pepe gets an 8. Really strong performance from Nico. Exactly what you want to see from him. Lovely goal. Really heavily involved all night. Like I said earlier in the video, defensively did really good stuff as well. So he gets an 8. And Lacazette, I'm going to give an 8 to Lacazette as well. I thought he responded well from that miss in the first half, right in the first minute. You know, he got a goal, he got an assist. And just led the line really well once again. He's playing really well now. 10 goals, I think, for the season for Lacazette. Arsenal's top scorer. Really sort of stepping up in recent weeks, especially in the absence of Aubameyang as well now. So good performance from Lacazette. He gets an 8. The substitutes came on. Willian, Elneny and Willett. Can't really give too much of them. I think the game was already done and dusted, really. I thought Willian did, was involved nicely for the third goal just soon after coming in, so fair play to him for that. But I'm not really going to give any of those 3 ratings because they just weren't on the pitch long enough to really make too much of an impact. Right, that's about it from today's video. Thank you very much, everyone. Got Mikel Arteta's press conference tomorrow morning. I think it kicks off at 9 a.m. ahead of the game against Man United. I will try at some point during the day to record a video looking at what Mikel had to say and starting to shift attention towards that match at the weekend, which is looking bigger and bigger now. Can Arsenal do the double against United this season? We'll find out soon enough. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you